Hi, I'm Ruth Carter, costume designer for the Black Panther. And these are notes on a scene. We're talking about the scene where the Black Panther arrives in Wakanda after rescuing Nakia. He is greeted by his mother, the Queen Ramonda, and his sister, Shuri.
Queen Mother, Princess.
And then we're also talking about the Warrior Falls. The storytelling element has everything to do with honoring tradition, the different areas of Africa that have such a rich history and culture. So as T'Challa enters Wakanda on the landing pad, we're greeted by the Queen Ramonda. She's wearing what I call her shoulder mantle, including the Isikolo, Isikolo, which is the South African married woman's hat. And when I looked at this hat, I felt like it looked like a crown, and I really wanted it to be perfectly shaped. And the only way that we could get it perfectly shaped was to have it 3D printed, along with her shoulder mantle, which is patterned from African lace. It's put into a computer, and there are algorithms that are designing these beautiful lines and this beautiful lace, and then it's 3D printed with a flexible material so she could actually get it on and get it off and wear it. It's wearable art.
Thank you, Nakia. It is so good to have you back with us.
And then you have Shuri, who is wearing an Adinkra symbol. This Adinkra symbol means purpose, and she certainly has a purpose in Wakanda.
Did he freeze?
Like an antelope in headlights.
Over on your left, you see Florence Kasumba, who is one of our Dora Milaje. She is wearing silver metallic armor. Ryan Coogler really wanted all of the armor on the Dora Milaje to look like jewelry. And so we made sure that it had a brilliant shine. There's this area of the Dora Milaje that I like to call the harness. I wanted the harness to look like it was hand-tooled by the same special craftsmen of Wakanda that would make the Queen's costume, because it's a great honor for someone to be a Dora Milaje. They also wear neck rings and arm rings that are from South Africa, just like the Ndebele tribe. The beadwork is inspired by the Turkana tribe. So you see different regions of Africa.
A comfort for your loss.
Thank you, Nakia. It is so good to have you back with us.
Take her to the river province to prepare her for the ceremony.
Yes, General.
Nakia is a war dog. She is a Nigerian princess. Nakia wears green. Right here, a river stone. And it's something that we wanted to include to signify her tribe and her country. She is a spy, and she was undercover as a Muslim girl. And she wore a burqa-type drape when she was a spy. And then she takes it off, and underneath it all is her fighting costume. On the other side of T'Challa, we have Okoye, who is played by Danae Guerrera, and she is wearing gold armor. And that signifies that she is the leader of the Dora Milaje. And then in the middle, we see T'Challa. His costume here is from Captain America Civil War. He has a triangular pattern that we infused in the suit. It's kind of like the sacred geometry of Africa. It not only makes him a superhero, it also makes him an African king.
An antelope in headlights.
Are you finished?
Infusing African tradition with modern technology, one place we started was the 3D printing of the shoulder mantle for Queen Ramonda. Another representation is seen in Shuri. Shuri is wearing a necklace here in more of a modern kind of a choker way, but these little puka shells were used as trading. They represented wealth. Also with the Dora Milaje, anywhere where you see a silver or a metal substance, it is vibranium. Ryan was very specific about many things. He really wanted the Warrior Falls to be magnificent.
Victory in ritual combat comes by yield or death.
So he said, when we look up at that mountain, it should be a feast for the eyes. He wanted to bring a tradition to the Warrior Falls because this is the one time of the year where anyone from any one of the tribes of Wakanda could challenge the king.
I now offer a path to the throne.
Here we are at the Warrior Falls, and we have Zuri. He is our shaman of Wakanda, and he was to represent all the tribes of Wakanda. Nigerian men wear these big open-shaped garments. You also see beading along his front tabard, and the front tabard beading was in the tradition of the Turkana tribe. Zuri's poncho is made up of tiny tubes that were sewn together, made of silk. It also drapes along his back so that when he's standing in the water, they would blow and billow and make it have this magical effect. The color, the beadwork, the modern drape makes him somewhat of a witch doctor. He has his face painted, and he is our spiritual leader in Wakanda. You see here little details on Zuri's sleeve, and they're kind of triangular shaped. This shape we used a lot in the design on the Black Panther. These in particular are from the Tuareg, as well as the color. The Tuareg used this beautiful aubergine with silver and black in their traditional dress.
The merchant tribe will not challenge today.
Here we have the merchant tribe elder. Her name is Dorothy, and Dorothy has these gigantic earrings on. They're beautiful in their glory. She's also wearing Ethiopian crosses down the front of her drape. She also has her turban adorned with the same Tuareg symbols. So she is our leader of the merchant tribe, which is based on all of the beauty of the Tuareg. And behind her, you see more of it. You see more of the drapes. Standing with her is her fierce warrior, and he is adorned in the same ancient African traditional style of the Tuareg tribe, having some symbols, having some crosses, as well as covering his face, as the men did. Here we have the border tribe. We have our border tribe elder, and he's wearing his Lesotho-inspired heart-shaped drape over his head, and he's also adorned in his Lesotho blanket, which we added vibranium to. The vibranium was printed on top of the Lesotho blanket so that they would have a shield-like ability, so they could fight with their blankets as if they were shields. You have Daniel Kalula here, who plays Wakabe, and he is a border tribe warrior. On his blanket, he has some of the Adinkra symbols, and here behind him, you see one of his soldiers wearing a Lesotho blanket that has the beautiful prints on it, as well as he's wearing the heart-shaped hats that they wear during the winter.
The border tribe will not challenge today.
Here is the River Tribe, and we see Lupita Nyong'o in her traditional beaded costume based on the Suri people of Africa. And you see them along the rivers of different areas of Africa. You see a lot of them with children, and they have sticks and flowers that they adorn their bodies with. But she also has her warrior harness, complete with the puka shells that signify her great wealth. Her River Tribe elder, who is here seen with the lip plate to signify also his wealth and his status. His costume is completely made up. It's beaded from African artifacts that I found at flea markets, and then we made this warrior style caftan with a drape, and we covered it with puka shells again to signify wealth, as well as this beadwork that was taken from different artifacts that we found from Africa. The lip plate is a complete prosthetic, and it is put on every day. It takes hours by the makeup department. He also has gauges in his ears that were painted with the design work that you'll see in some of his other costumes. But that day on set for him, he has to drink his beverages from a straw, but he still has the ability to hold a conversation.
The River Tribe will not challenge today.
Here you see one very important element, and that is the Kimoyo beads. Everyone in Wakanda wears Kimoyo beads because they are a source of communication. You can bring up holograms, you can talk to people right through your Kimoyo beads.
The mining tribe will not challenge today.
Here is the mining tribe, including the mining tribe elder and her fierce warrior. The mining tribe elder is wearing a Himba tribe wig that is complete with the little puffs that they wear on the bottom of it. It's ochre and shea butter, and it makes up this wonderful piece. The amber crown we made for her is something that I had as an inspiration on Roots, the other film that I have done. And I brought it on because it framed her face so beautifully. Her warrior here is wearing a Maasai headdress. His headdress is worn by Maasai warriors, and the bigger the feathers or the fur that goes around the headdress, the more fierce a warrior you are. The beadwork that is done around the face is done by hand, by craftspeople, but this one happened to be done by hand by me. Late night in the costume shop, because I was insistent on having this headdress in this scene. These drapes are just a real long piece of fabric and just have to be knotted on the shoulder, and kind of a free-form creative process on the day. And here to the left, you see more of the miners. And the miners wear this gorgeous orange and red combination, similar to the Turkana tribe. For this scene, it wasn't as many people to dress as you would think, because they came in sections and we got them pre-fit, and people knew what they were wearing, and as much as they could be self-sufficient, we tried. We had about 15 people that day, but for a group of 350 people, that's just not a lot. A lot of people were coming over to me and saying, can you tie that the way you did it in the fitting, or can you wrap my turban? So I had to train a lot of people on how to wrap a turban or how to tie a drape.
Is there any member of a royal blood who wishes to challenge for the throne?
Here we have Shuri. Shuri is wearing her traditional costume that she's super uncomfortable in. It is inclusive of this, what she calls a little MC underbite, and also these special beads that are real African beads that are made, some of them are made of clay, some of them are made of rolled paper. In the back, you can't see it really, but in the back of her costume is this sort of like a spear, but it's a corset from the Dinka tribe, and it travels around her body, it attaches in the front, and it has a long spear up the back. We wanted her to have all of this stuff on her face and around her body so she would be super uncomfortable, and it really did inspire her lines.
This corset is really uncomfortable, so could we all just wrap it up and go home?
Now you can see the Dinka corset, the way that it goes up in the back and it comes down the sides, and it attaches. It has beads that go around her shoulders, and this is her traditional costume to wear for that ceremony called the Warrior Falls. It was inspiring to finally have a scene in the Black Panther where it was all about tradition. Because of that, it was really taking the research and applying it to all of the things that you gather, every color that you are inspired by, and every texture that you have. We brought together so many elements all together in one place, unlike you'll ever see anywhere. We had the Northern African Tuareg, we had Mali, we have Nigeria represented, South Africa. It was a beautiful spectacle. And so that was a way of kind of bringing our past forward and showing it in a way that was mystical and futuristic in a superhero film like you have never seen before. I think storytelling like that is what the best stories are made of.